Hey guys, welcome back to YouthCast, a podcast for the youth and by the youth. On today's episode of the podcast, we have an extremely exciting guest for you guys today. We have someone with over 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, over 37 million views, and someone who's helped countless students, not just who are Indian but also international in general. Please welcome Harnoor Singh, as you might know him from YouTube, Singh in USA.
I wish there was an audience applause right now, but yeah, sorry.
Uh, Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with YouthCast, and I'm happy to answer all the questions. I'm very excited to be here.
So Harnoor, before we begin asking you our questions, do you want to give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I recently graduated as an undergrad and master's student from Georgia State University. I finished my degree in computer science, and this week itself, I started as a software engineer, and it was a roller coaster kind of ride, and it was a lot of fun.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Congratulations, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we wanted to know a little bit about your background of education, not just like college-wise, but like where you started out in Amritsar, like what board you were from, what school.
Sure. So I come from a CBSE board background. So I've also been in Punjab board for a year in my fifth or sixth grade. Then later on switched to CBSE board. And when I so starting from the point I got to introduced about studying abroad was through some of the some of the college board members who came to our school. They used to come regularly every year to introduce about some of the universities in US, Canada, and Canada was like majority of the students going from our school because like being in Punjab, that's how it started. I saw a lot of students going to Canada, and then I thought, oh, I can go to Canada too because all you need is like a good board exam scores. But then I looked more into the application journey and what do you all need to study abroad. But that didn't interest me that much. The most interesting part was when I was preparing for my JEE exams, I found out that if let's say I wanted to study computer science because I had started programming at the age of 15 or 16, I'll say, and I wanted to pursue computer science, then I found out that, oh, I cannot pursue computer science if my rank is below that margin for JEE, JEE Mains Advanced. Then it struck in, and then I started the research and the funding and how much fees is required and permission from my parents. And that's how the journey started. And then finally started with my undergrad in computer science, and now it's over almost.
So, I mean, our next question is when and why did you decide, but you gratefully included that. So, one of the main questions that we had when we were like thinking about what we could ask you is that being an advocate of free Lanta and being Mr. Free Food, what factors did you take into account when moving to the US, right? Because there's obviously money and the Indian colleges are cheaper and job quality and job opportunities. And you covered this on your channel to a certain extent, but let's just take a deep dive into that. So,
Sure. So, in US, there are, I believe, three kinds of universities. One is private, which offers you need aware and need blind schools. And I knew I can get in because I started pretty late. So if you look into all the schools like Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Denison, Amherst, need blind, need aware, which can give you up to 100% scholarship. I knew I cannot get in because like you have to be pretty impactful. You have to do some extraordinary level of extracurriculars. So I didn't have that. So then I started to look into second category, that is public schools, which do not give you that much scholarship, but may have good scope in the end. So in that list, I had schools like CMU, UC Berkeley, Georgia Tech. And then also like I did have maybe a competitive profile, but my ACT and SCT preparation wasn't good. I just had like 2 months to prepare and I couldn't get the best score. Then I looked into other schools, UTs, Georgia State University, and I knew that I can maybe get in with an ACT of 27. And I had read an article a long time ago, and someone has posted on some Facebook group out there in Georgia. I don't remember. It was somewhere that I got to know that some student at Georgia State University was able to pay all of his or her tuition fee that at his or her school. And that's what interested me, that after first year I can definitely like make it a shot and try my best to cover my tuition fee, which I was able to do. So that interested me the most as compared to taking the ACT again to target Georgia Tech, which doesn't give you any financial aid or any merit-based scholarship later on. So that's what most interested me to come to Georgia State University. I know it's not the best, but it's still a second most innovative school in the US according to some sources, and top 20 business school, top 25, 30 business schools of US too. So that's why these ranking with an opportunity to get scholarship later on, like uh, made me target Georgia State University.
That's honestly really inspiring to see how far
Yeah.
you've come in, like paying your own tuition and all of that. It's honestly really inspiring, and big props to you for that.
Yeah.
And
Thank
so
you.
for some of the people who don't know, Freelanta is basically this, it's this idea and concept created by Harnoor, where he tries to find the cheapest thing or the best thing possible at the lowest price, which is honestly pretty cool. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I think unnecessarily, without knowing, we end up spending so much money on like the dumbest things ever, like just going to Starbucks and getting coffee. You go once, you go twice, and without knowing, you get so much money piled up. But Harnoor has this really great ideology, which I think all of us try to emulate in our daily lives also. So we're all a big fan of the Freelanta movement.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
also
and
spoke about your attempt at JEE mains, and we had a question for you. One of us is planning to, one of us is
Say,
preparing for the JEE exam. Can you guess which one of us that is?
um, if I have to guess, it could be Yajat, maybe.
I'm
yeah,
sorry, what led you to that conclusion?
Is he?
Yeah,
He
he
I
is.
am,
is.
I am. But
Oh my
That's a
god!
great first guess.
yeah,
Oh,
how did you do that?
because you're the only one who wears glasses, and I know that
I
pretty much.
said that
That's
yesterday.
exactly what yesterday when we were deciding what questions we're gonna ask, finalizing them. Samarth came up with this question, and that's the first thing he said. Like, just because you have glasses, you said. Yeah,
So
that's true though.
okay, so the biggest reason is in the last 15 years or so, I've seen that majority of the IIT toppers, or even in a class size who are JEE aspirants, majority of the students are definitely wearing glasses. So that's an easy guess.
Yeah.
So glasses do make you smarter.
Yeah,
Or they make you look like you're smart.
yeah.
Anyways, um, yeah. So when we spoke about the factors that went into making this decision, now, like I'm sure you have like friends from your previous school that studied in India, right? And since I'm sure you took science, so you must have a lot of people who were in engineering schools, right? So in comparison to them, like when you speak to them, what differences do you see that you otherwise wouldn't have thought of studying in the US and studying in India?
So one of the biggest difference that I've noticed is when you like studying in Indian classroom environment, whatever college it is, you ask the professor, hey, recently a new technology came out. Let's say it is Java 10 or 11, and they're teaching you Java 6. And you want the professor to teach you the latest, greatest technology, and the professor will reply in India that, hey, this is the resource. Go to that XYZ website and go there and learn. And while in India, okay, I mean, while in the US, they will say that, oh, we have this last week for of the semester, like 14-week semester. We don't have much planned for the 14th week. We can do that. We can learn about that in that semester. You guys can vote if you want to maybe learn about Go language or anything else. You can learn about that in that period, or we can teach whatever you want to. But in India, they will say we cannot change the syllabus for you. You can go to that XYZ website. That's the biggest difference. And other difference is that the energy level, the passion we put into studying till we go to college is much more as compared to when we are in college. So you don't see a lot of passion among all the students. They are mainly there to find jobs or to like to chill. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, I guess that's true to a certain extent because the way they're selecting it doesn't check for interest at all, right? Like when you apply to Georgia State University, they see that you are interested in computer science and that's why they selected you for it. Whereas in India, it's not, it's based on certain subjects and certain marks
The
that you
Indian
get. So,
education and the Indian education system in general is just more exam oriented. And I think that's why the US is just a better fit for some people.
Yep.
even at the school level, I've heard so many teachers saying, "चलो बस ये chapter खत्म करना है, फिर syllabus हो जाएगा." So
yeah.
that definitely exists, yeah.
Yeah. And also spoon feeding is a part, like
Oh yeah,
it,
definitely.
yeah, yeah.
No, continue please.
Uh-huh. Yeah, spoon feeding is also, spoon feeding is a big part because in India, like even in colleges, we expect like teachers should spoon feed you, and you're in the habit. And but जब आपको पता चलता है that they are not going to spoon feed you, आपकी performance पे बहुत बड़ा lag आता है. A lot of students, I think, struggle to keep that 8.0 GPA in India, but in US, it's like all cumulative, so it kind of becomes easy to even maintain a 3.5 above out of 4.
Yeah, and I think you had a
Yeah,
4.0 GPA, right? If
Yep.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
that's something to be proud of. But yeah, my question was that another thing in India, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you know, but there's also relative grading, right? Like in the US, there's no like competition sense that only these many people can get an A, these many people can get a B. Yeah.
But yeah, I to add on, like you all of you guys must have seen 3 years, like so
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much like so well, pretty much in the end, some sort of list is always there which differentiate you, that कि आप rank 1 हो, आप rank 100 हो, you were last in the class, you were first in the class. So that differentiator really intimidates you, that oh my god, I'm last, oh my god, I'm first. So this ranking culture, like, is definitely destroying the Indian education system,
Yeah,
because
it can either like motivate someone to work incredibly hard, or it can just demotivate them and crush their dreams.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that culture is never, you will never see that since high school, middle school, or even elementary school, till you are in college, or even after college. No one cares about your rank.
Yeah, I think this is especially important is because a lot of people don't consider this when they're applying abroad. They generally just think, oh, I'll go abroad, I'll see all of these new people, and that'll be it. That'll be the only benefit I'll get, right? Or it's just the idea of moving abroad. These are
The
the more
social
important
life
things
over
that you,
there.
yeah, and these are the most important things that you face on a day to day, which are more beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that we've talked about your decision to move to the US and why you did this, we wanted to sort of understand what your family's reaction was when you first told them that, oh, I don't want to prepare for the JEE, I want to go to the US instead.
The first reaction was definitely no, because they said why not? Because like being preparing for JEE, I'll be closer to the family. They were also saying that I can easily get into Thapar, which I did as well. Thapar University also had reached out because of my board exam score, and they called me and they said, "Oh, you got 93. Like you can we can offer you so and so stream," and according to my JEE mains. So yeah, that was an option. And they really wanted me to be close to them, and it is really affordable. Like if you compare 4 to 8 lakh rupees of entire education versus minimum 50 lakh to 1 crore, so that was a big difference. Now it has changed, the standards have changed from 1 crore to 2 crore in US, but the point is that they definitely said no. But later on, like I told them about the event, I told them about the opportunities, and then I told them that yes, even though the fees may seem 1 crore, it will not be. I will never let that happen, because I did in-depth research. And even if it is like maybe in the beginning, if it's like 25 to 30 lakhs, I can transfer to a school which is definitely affordable. That also I had in mind. And literally I had prepared the entire application to transfer to Georgia Tech, and also to UT Austin, UT Dallas. I was one step away from hitting that submit button. And you all you need is just attend 2 semesters and you're ready to transfer. But luckily, I got the scholarship and I didn't want to move, so it was all set there.
Yeah, like I think where there's a will to save money, there's a way. If you like want to find it, you can always find it.
Yeah.
Yep. And even if your parents are saying some other XYZ problem, if it's not funding, they might say that we want to stay closer and all sort of.
Too
You
far
can
away.
always like think about the solution, possible solution, and you can always like convince them with that way.
So, what was the grander goal in life? So, you wanted to go to the US to study. After that, did you always want to work in the US or job market, or did you want to come back to India, explore options here?
So like that's a tough question. So first is that F1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. You cannot tell them like you want to work there, but OPT is part of the curriculum which lets you work there. So if you tell in the interview that you want to work, your visa can be denied, but it is at the same time part of the curriculum OPT. So whenever someone goes to the US, they always have in their mind that they're going to use that opportunity to at least cover their tuition fee, right? So I always had that in mind, that I'll be able to use 1 to 3 years uh, of those OPT like opportunity so that I can cover my tuition fee. And that was one big reason for sure that I'll be able to save money and bring back home later on if nothing works out. And number two reason was the opportunities US gives you, not just in education, not just in exposure, but also once you complete a degree in US, even from average or above average or a top university, it opens gates all around the world. Let's say if you apply in India, if you're applying with a US degree, the chances of you getting an interview are much higher, and with the experience that you bring from US plus the degree is much higher as compared to any average university in any part of the world. So that's a big thing as well. And also my end goal was to become an entrepreneur, and I also want to some in some part of my life, or someday I really want to get that MBA as well. So if after getting, I mean, after getting experience, I will decide. But the point was, I first want to land in industry in US and get exposure, and then see what life brings
Harvard Business School, watch out.
So now that you've moved to the US, you started the YouTube channel, right? So that was when you moved to the US, right? Right. So what went through your mind then? Why did you start it? Like, what was the initial thought?
Like, I think
Sure.
you were one of the first Indian college YouTubers as well. So, like, I don't.
Yeah.
How did you get the inspiration to start a YouTube channel and like try to help other people through the process?
Sure. First of all, I wasn't the first. I did see another undergrad student making videos of UT UT Dallas. He's that Indian guy, so I did follow him. So my first reason was that I wanted to achieve some goals. Whenever an Indian student goes to abroad, they have goals in mind. They want to get that internship. They want to get the job. They want to pay their tuition fee. All students have that goal in mind. So the moment I was closer to that goal. So the moment I landed my first internship, just in my first year. So then I thought, oh, I achieved one part of the goal. Then next year I got another internship. Oh, then I thought I'm even closer to that goal, and my position is already a software engineer, and I'm pretty sure I will be getting a full-time opportunity later on. Then I thought, what's next? What should I go for next? I'm pretty satisfied. I'm like doing 9 to 5 job, and I still have free time. What can I do next to to feel that I'm spending time in or you can say
Efficient
like,
way.
so yeah, it was an ambition. And also I'm a big fan of Priyanka Chopra. There was a session in my school when I was in 12th grade, when I was graduating. They said, wherever you're going to go, whichever college you will go, never feel contented in your life. They say Priyanka Chopra, like, she first became like Miss World to Bollywood actor to Hollywood singer to Hollywood actor, and like even she keeps growing. So like if she wanted, she could have been satisfied with the crores of money she was earning just being a Bollywood actor, but she still took that step forward. So that was one of the biggest reason, and I wanted to start a YouTube channel. So
So I saw that the first video you ever uploaded was one of like an open ML detections app or something. So was it the initial thought to create this sort of a channel, or did you have something else in mind?
so I didn't have any content in mind. I just had that I just want to share my knowledge. So I had, I think, good understanding of computer science concepts. So I wanted to share through that. I did put a lot of videos on computer science, but those were pretty boring, and I wasn't that good camera person, or good person, or good or fluent person in front of the camera. So wanted to become like I wanted to get the personality that is good in front of the camera. So that's why I started a reaction channel with one of my friend, he was my classmate in algorithms class. So we used to react to some Bollywood content, and through that I actually got fluent in front of the camera. Like when you
You start to get
stand
comfortable, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't comfortable in front of the camera. So the moment I started sitting with him in front of the camera, then I got, oh, YouTube is my thing and I can try. So then slowly I created Singh University channel, and the first video I posted was my visa interview, and then the journey starts.
Yeah,
I think
even
even
us,
our
like,
first step, like our
yeah, that's
first
exactly
episode
what
of
I was
our
about to say.
podcast, it was so bad, and we were all so awkward. It took us like 4 hours to record a single 30-minute episode,
Yeah.
and it was genuinely the worst thing you will ever see. But as like time progressed, we've got better. And like I think we've stopped cutting each other off more. So like we're finally figuring things out as it goes along. Yeah.
Cool. So we had a question, which was like your entire channel is based on like giving an outsider perspective, right? Like living as an Indian in the US, Singh in USA. And you, so after all of this time like, that you've lived in the US, do you think you are like a part of the US culture? Like, is that like something that obviously you started off as an outsider, but do you think you've been like sort of accepted in a manner? And how do you think that would affect your content? Because it's
Is
sort of
Singh in
supposed to be.
USA still Firang in USA?
ओ भाई मारो मुझे मारो मारो मुझे मारो मारो नहीं ये मजाक हो रहा है एक सेकंड यार मजाक हो रहा है
No, I don't think anymore. So since my first day in US, my goal was that I want to interact with students who are not from India, or who are belonging to a different culture. So whenever I was looking into the roommates list, I said, just allot me any random roommate. I want to learn from them. So the first year being on campus, I was allotted a roommate, one from France, Paris, and other from Japan, Tokyo. And it was a great experience. They didn't even know like what is how to call cockroach in English. So literally there was a cockroach one time in bathroom. I took a picture and showed him, and then he got to know, oh, that's cockroach, and he got scared. It was one of the most memorable moments. There were a lot of other words too, which I cannot talk about, which are but we did learn a lot about their food, their culture, and what else. And other than that, like, now if I think about those moments that in the last 4 years never and now once I can think about these 4 years when I have never lived with any Indian roommate, I'll say that I have become more international. If I want to talk to any stranger out there, I can easily chime in, talk to him, and make him as a friend. So I do have a lot of international friends. Africa, Germany. He's German American, so he's also here. Bangladesh, in like Bangladesh American. So all sorts of roommates, all sorts of friends you can think of.
So
That's
like your
great.
entire channel and like following is basically largely based on like your college life in applying international, and but like now that you've finished your education, for at least for now until you do your MBA, if you decide to do it, your content is kind of shifted a bit more to like lifestyle content rather than just college. So is that where the channel is going to be headed in general, or are you still going to be making collegey videos?
I think mix of both. I want to balance my lifestyle blogs, like sharing life of a student in US to life of a software engineer in US to maybe later on an MBA student. Like however it lands on, I surely want to share. Surely want to be a lifestyle blogger, as well as like sharing perspective of a student in US. Like, let's say that there's another field out there which is pretty interesting. If students comment and we want to see the life of Harvard Law School, I really want to interview that student and bring in how you can like do law at Harvard. So
Yeah, I think your audience has also sort of grown with you in that sense, because a
Yeah.
lot of them are like, normally if a YouTuber makes such a drastic, like one video is interviewing, let's say a Harvard entry, and then the other video is about how them shifting out of their house or something like that, they probably won't get the same audience. But here, the audience is equally interacted in both of them. So I think that's
The
something that
audience is
you've built up very
invested
well.
in Harnoor rather than the entire concept of the YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think in general, one thing that's really cool about Harnoor's vlogs is like many of these vloggers, what they do is they purposely try to do very cool stuff just for the camera. But Harnoor's vlogs are literally him going about his day, and like he's not trying too hard, and that's just what makes it so special.
It's just very organic content.
Yeah.
And I think there has been a slow progression since like the time you started your channel. You've gone from like collegey videos, like pretty much all college videos, to a few day in the life of students. And now you've started to like produce content about your past relationships and giving your cousins iPads and stuff. That was a really fun video to watch, by the way.
Yeah.
And like I think you're the best thumbnail creator I've ever seen. Honestly, like we need to learn from you.
Yeah.
I think I'll thank my school for that, who taught me like to get into programming in 9th, 10th grade, to get into Photoshop in my 6th grade. So
Oh wow.
Yeah. I just had a personal question. This is in none of our question list. I want to know where the Apple products are coming from. You're not sponsored. Where are they coming from? It's just-
sure. So starting with the first Apple product that I ever gotten, that was from Marcus Plumley. That was the beginning of Freelanta, getting a free iPhone. So literally just commented on his YouTube video. He didn't ask for anything at all. That's the last iPhone giveaway he has ever done, and that was
Yeah.
probably the only. You can say that in the last 5 years, the only iPhone winner you will see from India will be me from his channel.
That should be
So,
on your resume.
so I got that, and then I got interested into like my production quality improved because I was shooting with OnePlus 5, and there's drastic difference between video quality of iPhone versus OnePlus. Then the match didn't work out. Like iPhone footage on Windows, it wasn't a smooth experience. Then I wanted a MacBook, so I bought it on EMI, $200 a month. Then finally paid it off in 6 months. Then that was the paid MacBook I got. Later on, what else? The next Apple product was definitely iPhone 11, which I bought it from the money I got with the free iPhone. So you can say everything is free, but it definitely took a little bit of hard work. Then with the same money, I was able to a little bit, like the money that I saved, like being a student, I cut down on the monthly expenses. So, as a student or whenever you're starting a career, the biggest or the worst financial decision could be getting a house or getting a car. That every person who is like into stocks or investment will guide you the same. Even one of the most popular book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, guides you the same. So that's why I cut down the living expenses. Started living in a living room, currently in my roommate's room, but live in a living room, $400 per month. So through all the money that I saved, I was able to get iPad and free MacBook from office. So that's the journey.
That's pretty insane.
This is definitely going to answer a lot of questions on your YouTube channel comments.
Why did you receive that MacBook in a Dell box, by the way?
I believe that that must be for monitor because like they have big boxes, and also they wanted to give a backpack, so they wanted to
Oh,
add the
okay.
backpack
Yeah.
and
Oh.
MacBook. So that's why.
Okay, so I think like this brings us to the first major segment of today's episode, where you know how like Ellen has a show called The Price is Right. We have a nice Freelanta version of it.
It's not
Um,
Ellen's show.
sim Similar to like a rapid fire. So we're gonna name like an object or something, and you have to tell us the cheapest you've ever got it for. Um,
Sure.
We're calling it The Price is Affordable. The first one is the cheapest flight you've ever had.
$29. You can
wait,
say
wait, what?
1,800 rupees.
You're
How?
joking.
What was the distance? Like from where to where?
Yeah.
DC to Atlanta.
How much is that? How
That's
much is that though?
far, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
In fact,
DC is
free as
here.
well. How can you forget about free flights in Freelanta? Oh, so so I definitely had been accepted to Hoya Hacks, if I remember, in Washington DC. They literally said like if you want to come for the hackathon, but because of COVID, it got cancelled. But I couldn't take that flight. But I was definitely given the offers. And
Wow.
Wow.
another at California Institute of Technology, Caltech Hackathon, they also give free flights. Stanford, if you apply on time, they give free flights if you get into the hackathon. So, like, I was definitely given a lot of options. COVID messed up all the Freelanta plans.
It's messed up a lot of plans.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's been your best hackathon experience though? Because hackathons aren't that big of a thing in India, like especially at the college level. Like on the school level, they still do exist. Like I've been to a couple of hackathons, but I'm sure in the US they might be on like completely new level, right? Because we only had like around 15 teams, but I'm sure in your hackathon there must be much more. So what's your craziest hackathon experience?
Sure. In terms of best hackathon, for me is the one in which I was able to win. That was at Emory University. That's a private school which does give financial aid. So that the hackathon is called Hack ATL. That was like probably one of the biggest one. They were around 50 to 60 teams, 400 plus students, and we were given second prize. So that's my favorite, most memorable.
Wow.
Uh, the best experience overall, like which may make it sound foodathon as compared to hackathon, that was at Hack GT. Because like one of the best food I've ever tried. They give you like 4 to 5 meals in a day. That was insane. So Hack GT, and like I think Hack Waterloo is the next one I will look up to. I was definitely planning to go this year, but anyways, like again.
The best the best free meal that you ever had, now that you've told us.
Sure. So the best free food I've ever gotten is still at Harvard in I forgot the name of the dining hall, the freshman dining hall, which looks exactly like the, what do you say, Harry Potter dining hall. It was
Hogwarts, yeah.
amazing experience. Yeah. So, like they have pretty healthy food. You know, in I have eaten at a lot of dining halls in Toronto, University of Toronto, UBC. I have also eaten in MIT's dining hall, or you can say in Georgia Tech's dining hall, Georgia State's dining hall. All over in America, they have a culture of really, really oily food. So they put a lot of oil, which makes it unhealthy. But at Harvard, they
Super
put the
tasty.
right amount of it, and it was delicious.
So how do you find these like free food conventions? Like I've seen your videos, and like even if you don't go to the event, you somehow end up getting the free food from the event. So like how do you find all these places?
Okay, I think the biggest reason is luck. So, like for example, at Harvard and MIT, it was just luck. I was about to get my paid lunch, paid dinner, and somehow found the event. So, when I was literally going to the Harvard's dining hall just to see it, and they said, I tried to go there. They said, "You're not a Harvard student." Not only this, they said, "Not a Harvard summer school student." They said, "No, you cannot get me. Even if you know someone, you cannot go in." Then later on, I saw a professor just crossing me, and he said, "Oh, do you want to see the dining hall?" He said, "Oh yeah, come in." And that's it. He just let me in. That as simple as that.
That's
For
very
MIT,
lucky.
I was crossing the corridor, and I was just literally like crossing it just to like see the corridor, the MIT dome, and saw there someone is giving out pizza, and just went there. So.
Okay,
Okay,
so
Next thing,
our next question was, what is the cheapest accommodation you've ever stayed at?
That is also gonna be $0. So my roommate who lives in Atlanta, he has his parents in New York. So I was literally living in a hostel for $30 a night for the
Oh
first
wow.
day in New York. He made me cancel the second day reservation, and he said, "Come to my place," and then I lived there. Number two is
I saw that.
free.
Sorry.
I think I've seen that
Continue,
video.
continue. Yeah, same. $50 New York video, right?
$50. Sorry.
You did the entire trip in like 50 or something like dollars.
Yeah,
Whatever the cap
$70.
was, like the
$70.
video
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did about like $70. Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
And number two place is in London. I found a friend, and he like it was really random. He commented on the video, and then he reached out, and we connected. We became really good friends, and I stayed in this place. So
What's like up next, like right after free? What's the cheapest you ever gotten?
I think the biggest would be free flight, which I got the offer, which unfortunately got cancelled. You can say up to $400 flight. You know, these universities, Stanford, University of Waterloo, Caltech, they give you free flights. And it was painful to see that it got cancelled due to COVID. But anyways,
Honestly, they take so
Also,
much money from their students. They can like just do random stuff like this.
yeah.
also, like, have you ever had to negotiate, or are you just clever about it? Because a lot of people in India think you have to negotiate to get such low prices, and it's just like something you have to constantly think about. But or how were you just clever with your
I think you always have to negotiate, whether it's financial aid, scholarship, your salary. Always ask for it, even if you think you don't deserve higher. always just politely ask, and they said they will at least try to give you a little bit of boost if you ask them, because when you're asking them, you have to specify why you deserve just one sort of line, and they will definitely give you a better offer than before.
Okay. Cheapest set of clothes you've ever bought.
Um,
That would be free again.
okay, in the last 2 years,
This is
I have never bought a single T-shirt in the US or in India. And when you go to, like, in India, I got like free shirts as gifts. In US, I have, like, my cupboard is right here. All the T-shirts are free, around 40 plus or 50 plus T-shirts that are free.
We're
we'll
used to seeing
retitle
your
this video.
We're used to
We'll
seeing your
retitle this.
Venmo. Go on.
Yeah, oh my god. We'll retitle this video "Sing in USA Wardrobe Haul." That was my joke. Continue.
I was just gonna say we're used to seeing your free Venmo T-shirt a lot.
Yeah,
Wow,
Coinbase and Venmo.
that has become so popular, and people commented a lot that is Coinbase Venmo a sponsor or not.
And do you have any larger plans for merch or like further merch from here on out?
I'd buy that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Not yet, because like my goal is not to make like money. I have a job. That's my main thing, being a software engineer. YouTube is pretty much on the side. So if I get the time, if like my job gives me like enough time, then I will definitely go for it.
Yeah, like singing USA merch will be pretty cool, honestly.
Hashtag free lanta on the front.
Yeah.
Give me free food.
You could just sell the Venmo t-shirts, to be honest. They've become so brandable. Yeah. What's the next one?
Swayam, do you have any more for this game? I'm all out.
I had
Say-
text,
I think
but then he
everything's
already. It's not the price is right. It's just the price is free.
The price is free.
Price is
Dun, dun,
low.
dun.
My next question was that you obviously due to your circumstances you had to you got into the best that you could, right? Georgia State is very 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 nice place to go, but you obviously through your YouTube channel you've met people who've gone to other universities, and have you what are certain things that like the Harvard dining hall, what stuff popped out to you that you oh my god, this is something that I wish if I started earlier I would have could have gotten this.
Oh, so you're trying to ask like what if I'm starting my journey again, what would be the dream school that I will be going? Okay, let me repeat.
Yeah.
Let me increase the volume a little bit. So trying to say that what's the dream school that I've started to prepare all over again, that if I am like if I'm born again in my 9th grade, and then what's the school I should aim for?
Yeah,
right?
from your experiences. Yeah.
Sure, I would aim for probably MIT, because I want to study CS. And for MBA, I would aim Harvard because of the business school. So that would have
Your every Indian parent's dream.
and for that journey, I would have started to take my app to the next instant, because I have already started working on a couple of apps, and the app that was awarded second prize at the hackathon, and which also gave me a couple $100 as an award. So I would have taken it to the next extent, and I would probably have increased my chances to go to MIT.
I think
People are
even
taking
Yajat
notes.
wanted to go to MIT, but now he's finally set his heart on IIT. So let's see how that goes. Best of luck, Yajat.
Why are you
That's
so
also because of
condescending about it?
That's also because of the entire visa issues that have arisen because of COVID. So I also wanted to ask you what's your sort of advice to this current batch of college applying students regarding this entire situation?
Sure. My perspective is that even though US immigration system in terms of F1 visa or H1B or green card, all sort of system may scare you, but in terms of opportunities, if you add in Australia, Canada, Germany, UK, if you combine these 4 universities in terms of foreign born workers, in terms of opportunities, in terms of job openings, is double in US as compared to all these 4 countries combined. So, and also if you compare the international student ratio, that is even higher in in these 4 universities as compared to US. So the point is that US still has the potential to double the amount of international students it can have. It's having around 1 million every like total. It can even go to 2 million. So that's why I think like US will never like make their international students go home. So that's my point.
Yeah, they earn a lot of money from us.
Yeah.
But like one thing that my personal dream is like, all Yajat wants to go to IT. My dream is to go to the US. Let's see how that goes. But sometimes I feel scared looking at everything going on. That like already, like suppose you get into UCLA, while an in-state person is paying just $8,000, you're for the same education paying around 60,000, 40,000, around that range. And in general, the way like international students are somehow sometimes treated there. So did you ever feel that too, like why am I still aiming for this, or any of that stuff?
Like why I am in a boat where like you differentiated on the basis of fees. Like I
Yeah.
uh,
Fees, the way you're treated, all of that stuff, like as
oh
an
I think just at
international
a
student.
general disadvantage as an international student.
I didn't feel that way because when you think about how you're treated in the classroom, it's 100% equal. I never felt any racism on campus or in classroom. If you are like getting better marks, or if you are getting like better recognition in classroom, no one is jealous of you. They don't care whether you're an international student or you were like US bonds, like US citizen. So that's the number one thing. In terms of like job opportunities, a lot of times it has happened that one of my friend who was a US citizen and me who is like, or like a couple of friends, and when you see that a non-US citizen taking the same opportunity which a US citizen has also applied, you may have similar capabilities, that US citizen is still your friend. He doesn't get mad at you. Hey, you came to my country and took my job. So they never say that. So I pretty much think that in terms of classroom experience, job prospects, it's pretty much equal.
In the video you did with the UPenn graduate, he mentioned, and you also agree to a certain extent, that the career fairs that happened, like a large fraction of companies weren't looking to hire international applicants. Is that still true, and how much does that factor in terms of job opportunities?
Yeah, that is definitely true. But if you look into the companies which do not differentiate between international and US citizens, or if you look into all the Fortune 500 companies, they don't care pretty much. That's my experience. Those companies who do not hire international workers are the ones mainly like government jobs, or mainly uh, the uh, the jobs which has very tough competition, which has already a good market for US citizens, and they will not be benefited by the international workers. So those are the ones. Those are some rare ones.
I think that's really refreshing to hear for a lot of people because, like, for the past
Yeah.
few months, all we've been hearing is there's no chance of going to the US now. We won't get jobs. We won't get a visa. And I think your perspective is like really insightful and will give a lot of people a lot of hope.
Yeah, I can add on that when I was in the last 3 months, I've still in this pandemic for software or IT industry, I have been interviewed 3 to 4 times. I didn't even apply. I basically applied to 10 jobs, still got interviewed. So I still think that there's good scope for software industry at least.
Yeah, everyone can check out the video that you uploaded on your channel describing like how which industries are affected and not. And most of the people that like are studying IT and all of that's not affected at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming to more of a current topic, since we're in a pandemic and all of our exams, since we're all school students, and like me, Swayam and Samarth, all of our exams are going to be conducted online, like at least the midterm ones. So I'm sure you also had to give some exams, or you have people who've spoken to you about certain exams. So how do you feel? Like, could you share your experience and then you can compare that with ours?
Sure. Before listening to US experience, I think a lot of audience might be interested in like Indian experience. Can you share yours? Because I personally don't know how those exams were conducted. Then I can like talk about mine. I would be more interested.
So as of yet, we honestly don't. We like have the same information as you. Our school has just told us that our midterms will be happening online, but they haven't told us how they'll be happening online. So
Oh.
it'll probably be. I think some teacher of ours spoke about a platform called exam.net, if I'm not wrong. So I think it'll probably be on that. But as of now,
Also,
we don't have much
hmm,
information.
yeah, like the what they've done is, and I think this is correct to a certain extent is that normally we have a heavy weightage on our exams, right? That like 80% of our this thing is from our exams, then 20% comes from like notebooks and like attendance and all of that. So what they've done is like they said that okay, since exams will be conducted them online, we'll give more weightage to like being there in class, studying, uploading your notes, doing assignments and all of that. That'll give you given more weightage. But also we've had like a couple of assessments, but they like since I don't know about humanity subjects which are more like written based. We just have like more MCQ tests that she'll give us a stipulated time. She'll tell us to turn our webcams on in class or something
Yeah.
like that. So it's not been something that new or innovative. It's just very weird, like typing or like scanning your
It's
results. It's
odd,
been
especially for like an education system like ours.
yeah.
But this is we're talking about our school, but some colleges like Delhi University tried having online tests. Their entire server crashed completely within the first 2 minutes. Students started tweet storming, and and Delhi University is probably one of like the biggest universities in India, right? So like I don't think smaller universities have even tried to experiment with this kind of stuff just because of like how difficult it is for them to do it in such a mass scale.
Wow.
Yeah, like they're giving us the option to type it out or like draw on the thing or
Yeah,
scan it. But I don't know how I'm going to get used to typing my answers. Like, it's just, especially when you're writing, like, let's say you're solving a physics problem or something. Writing is such
exactly.
an essential part of like your thought process, right? So it's very, yeah. What about you, Harnoor?
And
Sure.
they've also like shifted our entire first term assessment to like more of a formative based assessment. So it's not really like there's not like I just said there's not that much weightage on marks. It's more of how you behave in class, how often you interact in class, and how much you put your perspective forth, put forth your perspective in class.
Yeah, and like all the assignments that because normally nobody cares that much about like notebook submission or something like that because it has such a small weightage in your actual result. But here, like submitting your notebook, doing just normal class tests is such a big part that everybody's quite anxious in school. Yeah.
Oh. So okay, so talking about US exams, I'll say like they're pretty strict. One of the class I can give an example. That professor literally wanted us to keep the camera on. And when we are doing the exams, if let's say I want to take water break, bathroom break, I literally have to show that I'm taking a break, write on a paper, washroom, show it in the front of the camera, washroom break, then leave, show my pockets are empty like this, and then take my leave. And finally, like when I come back, and I can literally have to show that my smartphone is in front and kept here, and then so it's pretty
Wow.
strict. And other than that, the other exams that I've seen, they are on a lockdown browser, so they do not allow you to open any tab
Yeah.
and keep the camera on at the same time. So let's say, like you want to refer to maybe iPad or any sort of other electronic device, you cannot because the camera is on. And on your computer, you cannot open any tab because it's a lockdown browser.
I think exam.net does the same thing if I'm not wrong.
Oh,
And I think that's why our school is trying to use it.
But like all of your exams written and do you scan them or do you type them out or something?
Yeah.
so mostly like it used to be written, but if you look at these online exams, they let you the opportunity, they keep you flexible, you can write it. But if you want to do it on the system, you have to like the professor has to make a lockdown mechanism. But
Hmm.
in most cases, professor don't have the time, so they mainly ask you to like write it on a piece of paper and submit it.
I don't
But for the lockdown browser, it depends on class to class, right? So other class, when it's on lockdown browser, it's definitely typed MCQ like that.
I don't think a system like that where you have to show your washroom sign would ever work in our school because half our students don't even have working webcams.
Yeah, like a lot of people in class just hide behind the oh my webcam isn't working, my mic isn't working.
Sir, Wi-Fi not working, can't come today.
मारो मुझे मारो
What? Okay, so you've obviously been having online classes for a while, right? This is your last. This was your last semester, but has there been any Zoom fails or like somebody's left their mic unmuted. Us like tell us Singh in
Yeah, we've had
USA's top
some very
10
embarrassing
Zoom
things
fails.
happening.
Yeah,
I don't think we should share that here, Swayam.
yeah, we.
Sure, a lot of funny things did happen. In one of the class, someone forgot to mute their mic, and I could listen to some of the some words in Telugu, some words in Hindi, and not just that, like literally like some not bad abuses, but like short kind of abuses, like Chako ki matra, Taku ki matra. So you can get the point. So a little bit of that I got. I literally got an opportunity to listen to them in the conversation. I listened to a lot of dogs barking here and there. And another funny thing that had happened in in Zoom, like you can reply, like you can send a private message to everyone, or you can
Oh,
Oh,
just
Oh
yes.
yeah.
send it to everybody. Oh no, that's
So
happened
in
more than
that,
once. Yeah.
yeah, that's like favorite memory, like literally, like let's say that like a friend, like a friend is texting me, तूने homework का ये question किया, what's the answer? You literally like send it to everyone. And
Have you ever experienced something like this, like a Zoom fail for yourself?
I never did that mistake, but someone has definitely.
How
So
professional?
no,
How
you go on. Go on.
okay, fine. How professional are like college classes on online though? Like, because in India, like at least to the school level, even to the college level, to a certain extent, you always find these videos on YouTube about people just messing around, disrespecting teachers, which we don't condone. But about like, how is it in the US?
I think it depends on professor to professor. Professor has the ability to make it asynchronous online. That means like you just professor, what all professor has to do is bring a camera, record it independently, 10 videos, 10 weeks, all set. Like बच्चों को कि जाओ देखो and study on your own. That's one type of professor. Number two is there are like live Zoom one-to-one classes. So now I believe the system has like become to an extent they are like merging both of these together, so to make it more organized, more structured. What professors are doing is they send you a video, like just get started with this and then come to this online lecture so that you can ask your doubts. You can make it more interactive and it becomes less boring, because if all the online lectures are recorded, then you will become lazy. Oh, I don't want to study because after this lecture is over, before the exam, I'm going to watch all these videos back to back and be prepared. So that's what they're doing to make students more active.
Plus, like it's like you're paying full fees for something you can get on Coursera if there's no interaction with the professor only.
Yep.
I also wanted to ask you about that. Have you ever done a Coursera course, and do you think it's helped you or anything in your life pursuits?
Yep, I have done one Coursera course on marketing and communication, because like I want to go for the MBA degree later. I'm just thinking about it. So that course did help me in land in a virtual mode. So that course was titled communication skills or in a virtual era, like how to become a better communicator, how to like make virtual coffee like session. Like if you want to ask a manager, can we have a coffee for 15 minutes? How to do that virtually. It becomes really, really challenging, in whether it's in school or in office. So it did help me a lot. It's just been 1 week in office so far, but really it really like made me better, better employee, better like better, what do you want to say, better software engineer, like in terms of getting things clear.
We're not sponsored by Coursera. Please, Coursera sponsor us. We're just talking about online courses in general.
Or Venmo, either.
Okay, so before ending the podcast, I would like to ask you, like, what do you think would be the best college experience you will be like facing in the future? If you imagine the best college experience you're gonna have after 2 years, what would that be? And I can describe that if it's possible as well. It could be like getting a girlfriend. It could be like party. It could be going to club. So, what do you imagine? What do you think that college is like?
I would say, sorry, go on.
Yeah, just I don't know about you because you want to go to IIT, तो वहाँ पे सब free time में पढ़ रहे होते हैं.
No, that's the entire point. Everybody studies in 11th and 12th so that they can not study that much in college. Like
And
that's
also the
entire-
question is like your dream college experience.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't have to be set. Wait. the things I like about Indian colleges is obviously the fees. Like that's obviously non-negotiable. I am not paying 1.5 crores, but that the fees is there. But in terms of college life, I think I don't know. Are you prefer, like, obviously you've traveled a lot and you've seen a lot of universities. Do you prefer campus colleges, like, or like city colleges, like something like that's based around a city? There's no fixed campus.
I personally like city environment. Like I like going to clubs. Like the moment I turned 21, that was the time I went to a club. But it was a good experience. So I prefer city life anytime.
So
Yeah. So
my dream college experience would be you go to school on full scholarship, okay? One of the Ivies, hopefully. At the same time, you have great food over there every single day.
Free
Food from
food.
all around the world. Free food is the best part. Um, yeah, that's about it. And I don't know, like have a super cool roommate. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, like now that I think
And
about it,
like
they're
a
not like. So go on.
go on.
No, I don't think there are that many specific things that we like. Oh, I want to go to this college. It's not like you can't.
Yeah.
It's just something that you've seen and you aspire to. Like in terms of actual college, most colleges have the same sort of life, right? Like in
I
the
think
US,
like
you'll find more.
a big part of the experience is actually finding out what the experience is. Because like
Oh,
most of us
deep.
too deep. Most of us like school and college is a drastic change. Like you go from living with your parents one day to just living in the middle of nowhere with some random person the other day.
I really hope my roommate is someone cool, yeah. Like it'll be very sad if it's just not someone great. Have you ever had to deal with those, Vese?
Oh yeah.
Like an annoying roommate.
I've seen some stories on your channel. I don't think I can share them here, but yeah.
Sure. Uh, okay, I'll say that. So one of the roommate, he literally ran without paying the rent, and
Yeah.
Oh
later
wow.
on, yeah. If you have seen one of my tour, he had a hookah bar.
Yeah.
He literally like destroyed the situation of the room. Like it was very difficult to find another roommate who can take his place. पहले खुद साफ करना पड़ा, उसने साफ नहीं किया. So like cigarette, मतलब carpet तक गंदा कर दिया. You have to pay for get things like clean
Yeah, yeah.
if you do that. But we got blamed even though we didn't anything. He just ran away. Like it was all of a sudden मैं सो रहा हूँ, सुबह उठा, like bed, इसका bed. He said मेरा $1,000 का bed है. How can I run? But literally it was just that I was gone for one day. Like सुबह गया मैं, शायद पता नहीं Apple Service Center गया था या somewhere. I just went there and came back. His
Just
bed,
casually.
everything was out. So we literally had to
Oh,
face around $600 each.
I heard that your first year roommate in your dorm was into some smoking certain things.
Yeah,
But
he got I was 18, he was 20, and first of all he was like taking weed under the age of 21. Second, it's illegal in Georgia, it's legal in maybe Colorado, it depends on state to state. And thirdly, he was fired from the housing, and he was given a warning, anything, if he does anything again, he'll be fired from the school as well.
Okay,
So
so I
these
think that pretty much wraps our entire
Yeah.
episode up. A big shout out to one Shaurya Sinha for like engaging this check his YouTube channel out. And two, definitely to Harnoor. This has honestly been such an insane experience. I
Yeah.
can't even tell you. Like
Yeah.
it's mad. Like you're genuinely one of my idols.
Oh, wow. It's honestly a pleasure. I really wanted to like see the new talent which is coming. Like it's pretty competitive out there, so I wanted to see the competition now.
That's so not how we were
That's a lot of
expecting
pressure.
it to be. Yeah.
Okay, so for anyone that's come from Harnoor's channel, please consider subscribing if you like this video for more videos like this. And both Harnoor's channel and Shaurya Sinha's channel will be in the description below. And thank you guys for watching, and thank you so much, Harnoor, for being here once again and taking time out of your day to talk to a bunch of 11th graders.